When it comes to the pinnacle of individual accolades in the sport of rugby, many are considered, but few are chosen. In rugby's equivalent to football's Ballon d'Or, once a year, the best of the best are shortlisted for the highest heralded World Player of the Year award. The prestigious award began in 2001 and has seen less than 20 different winners since its inception, proving that to win this award, a player needs to be something truly special. Previous winners include the likes of the great Richie McCaw, the mercurial Dan Carter, and the flying Brian Habana, to name a few. To win this award, a player must exceed all of his peers and stand out as the best in the world, while contending with the greatest in the game, and 2024 has been no different. By now, we already know the answer to who the world's best player is, but that doesn't mean we can't make a case for each of the nominees and show just why they deserve to be in the conversation. So join us as we take a look at the nominees for this year's World Player of the Year, give you our honourable mention, and last but certainly not least, crown the winner at the end. However, we do have one last thing before we get underway with the nominees, and that is to ask you to please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and leave your thoughts down below. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. In a year where talk of bomb squads, Tony Ball and chants of Rassie have taken over international rugby, it is no surprise that the majority of this year's nominees come from the land of the Big Five. Yes, Springbok rugby has continued to dominate the world, and they firmly find themselves at the top of the mountain in #1 spot yet again. A big reason for that dominance is the first nominee on our list, the enforcer himself, Eben Etzebeth. Etzebeth is no stranger to being nominated for the World Player of the Year award, having previously been nominated in 2013 and 2023. If anything, that 11-year gap between his first nomination and his latest one this year should speak volumes about the longevity of this Springbok Titan. In an incredibly special year where he surpassed the master of the line-out, Victor Matfield, as the most capped Springbok of all time, Etzebeth has shown that there are no signs of him slowing down anytime soon. Despite having a trophy cabinet as big as his biceps at this stage, he still possesses a hunger to win that few can even dream of. Etzebeth has shown in 2024 once again why he is such an integral part of this Springbok outfit and just how good of a player he is. Eben took home gold in both the domestic and international front, shining for the Sharks in the Challenge Cup and for the Springboks in this year's Rugby Championship. Along the way, he picked up some man-of-the-match performances and continued to show his unrivaled aggression, a deserving candidate, and arguably the greatest lock of all time. Speaking of players who are no stranger to being nominated, next is a player on our list who went a step further than even Eben Etzebeth. The bane of existence to the ribs of Geordie Barrett, it's none other than Pieter-Steph du Toit. PSDT, the man who gives others PTSD, has once again cemented himself as not just one of the best players in 2024, but arguably one of the best flankers to ever play the game. Du Toit was the winner of this award in 2019, following the Springboks World Cup triumph over Eddie Jones's England. Surprisingly, he missed out on a nomination last year after the most outstanding performance in the World Cup final against the All Blacks, but has shown World Rugby in 2024 that it would be a cardinal sin to overlook him once more. He has once again been in sensational form, displaying his all-round skill level and brutal tackling. Is there anything he can't do? Du Toit puts his body on the line in a way that few others can match, and yet we rarely see him being subbed off for a member of the bomb squad. In most cases, he plays the full 80 and goes at 100 miles an hour for the entire time. His versatility has been a valuable asset to the Springboks this year, with their locking stocks being hampered by injury. Fear not, whether he has 4, 5 or 7 on his back, Du Toit has proven yet again why he's the Springboks' go-to man, and exactly why he deserves to be considered as one of the best, if not the best, in the world once more. Believe it or not, our next nominee is another man donning a green jersey, only this time the green is a slightly different shade. His jersey might be different, but his level of performances is very similar. The next nominee is Ireland's new captain, 8th man, Caelan Doris. Despite only being 26 years of age, it feels as if Doris has been playing Test rugby for the better part of 10 years now, with 40 plus caps to his name and expertly taking on the role of captaincy from Peter Peter O'Mahony, Doris has had a standout year following his impressive showings in 2023. Alongside former Player of the Year Josh van der Flier, Doris has formed a formidable loose forward pairing. So good has the Irish captain been this year that he pits his loose forward partner to a nomination. In a season where he has certainly answered Ireland's call, he was a focal point in Ireland's Six Nations title win, making the team of the tournament in the process. Would his brilliance end there? Well, of course not, because Doris starred in South Africa against the mighty Springboks as well. Ireland drew the series away from home in the cauldron of Kings Park. Caelan has been at the forefront of everything good about Andy Farrell's Ireland and is a more than deserving nominee for the 2024 edition of the award. While the three previous nominees have got the call up thanks to their physicality and hard-as-nails approach, our next nominee has a slightly different profile about him. Yes, believe it or not, it is in fact another Springbok, but this time we shift out wide to the back line and applaud the quick-stepping speedster, Cheslin Kolbe. It is hard to imagine that once upon a time, in what feels like a lifetime ago, Cheslin Kolbe was deemed too small for the Springboks and surplus to requirements in South Africa. Thankfully then, common sense would prevail, and Coach Rassie assumed the mantle. The rest, as they say, is history. Nominated alongside PSDT in 2019, Kolbe once again finds himself being recognised amongst the best in the world, and rightfully so. He truly can do it all and has produced some otherworldly moments in 2024. No one punches above their weight quite like Cheslin Kolbe does. Just ask Scott Barrett, who the diminutive Kolbe sent flying in the Rugby Championship. Just to illustrate how unbelievable that is, Scott Barrett stands about 1.97 meters tall and weighs in at 118 kilos. Kolbe, on the other hand, is barely 1.7 meters tall and weighs only 75 kilos. He is a truly special player, unique in every sense of the word, and the hardest man to stop with ball in hand. Small in stature, but huge in heart, Kolbe has had another incredible season in 2024, and we've all loved every second of it, unless, of course, you're the earlier mentioned Scotty B. While the four nominees we've mentioned certainly deserve their spot, we must recognise that there are a few who were unlucky not to make the cut. There have been so many excellent players this year, and it would be impossible to name them all. But we've got one honourable mention that we think at least deserves a shout out. Our honourable mention goes to the man who swears by the belief that salads don't win scrums. It's Oxenche. If you think we've missed out an honourable mention, or even if you think we got it spot on, let us know down below. Now, we're taking all that into account, it is finally time for us to announce who World Rugby has already confirmed as the 2024 World Rugby Player of the Year. Drum roll please. The winner for 2024 is none other than the great Pieter-Steph du Toit. PSTD has capped off another sensational season with his second World Player of the Year crown.
So the winner of the 2024 World Rugby Men's 15s Player of the Year, Pieter-Steph du Toit.
Congratulations, Pieter-Steph du Toit. He's unfortunately been caught up in this storm, but we're absolutely delighted to have his wife, who's going to be here to collect this award for him.
In the process, he becomes only the fourth player to win the award more than once, following in the footsteps of All Black greats Richie McCaw, Dan Carter and Beauden Barrett. Yes, arguments can be made for each and every nominee this season, as well as some players who missed out on a nomination. But one thing is for certain, no one can deny PSDT's brilliance. A worthy nominee and a very well-deserved winner. Perhaps you're sitting here thinking otherwise, and if that's the case, share your opinions with us, or inform us if you think Pieter-Steph is the rightful winner. Once again, we find ourselves saying farewell to the international rugby season, and what a season it's been. For many of our favourite teams, there have been both highs and lows, but most importantly, it has given us plenty of memorable moments. As is custom, we've capped it off with yet another World Rugby ceremony and announced the best player on the planet. Now you've heard enough about our cases for each of the nominees, as well as the winner at the end. It's time for you to make yours down in the comments for your chosen winner. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to give the video a like, subscribe to our channel, and watch this space for plenty more to come.